Hey, what's going on? Once again, what's going on, everybody? Just checking in with y'all once again. For those of you who are catching it live, really appreciate you. For those of you who are tuned in to the replay, again, I appreciate that. We appreciate that. So, if you don't know by now, I do these videos. I try to do them every day, just to give you some information, especially for my new and experienced authors or people who have thought about writing a book. And today is one of those tips that is really it's for everybody, for new authors, for experienced authors, and even for those who have never written a book for themselves. So, let me go ahead and introduce myself before I jump in, because as y'all can see, I'm kind of excited. Watched the verses last night and I'm still a little bit lit. So my name is Ray Destin Jr. I'm the founder and CEO of BOBM Publishing LLC. We're a full service publishing house that has helped over 265 authors to date become Amazon #1 best-selling authors. We have full suite of services. Everything from the editing, the marketing, the graphic design, the websites, audiobooks, you name it. If you're an author, you need it, we got it. That's what we're here for. Now, today, I'm going to jump in, and if you own, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know you're here. When the information hits, drop those hearts. Let them float. I don't care. Whatever platform you're on, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Go ahead and show love, because we showing love back, just giving you this free content. So I asked today, I was actually on the phone with a good friend of mine, talking, and we were talking about different things that authors need. What is it that a new author runs into? And he said, you know what, bro? He said, whenever I'm doing my book, he said, a lot of people come to me and they ask me, how do I write? How do I get it out of my head? How do I get this information out of my head and onto the paper? So today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. But I'm going to go in general with the book, and then I'm going to get narrow in terms of how to break it down and how to get that information out of your head. So one of the first things is, and as y'all know, I'm going to go high. I'm going to give you the answers, and I'm going to come back. Some of y'all can figure the answers out for yourself and are just like, you know what, I got it from here. Other people want to hear the full details. So either one of y'all that's rocking with me, let's rock. All right. First thing is choosing your topic. When you choose your topic, you want to choose it based on a few things: expertise, experience, passion. If it can help others and help them to solve a problem, those are some of the major things. If you're writing nonfiction, if you're writing fiction, the range is wide open, right? As far as the writing the book itself, or writing your chapter for a book, you want to start with an outline, and the outline includes those chapter titles and the key points that you want to touch on. Or you can brainstorm. If you've ever seen the brainstorm where people just start throwing ideas out, usually it's a big piece of white paper. Somebody in the front of the room has a marker. You just do that on your own. Brainstorm, get those ideas out, whether it be in web form or bullet points. And then the last idea to get started is just a brain dump. Just start writing, right? So let's go back and break this down, because I want to give you enough information that you're dangerous and you can take this and apply it. So the first one, choosing your topic. When you choose your topic, like I said, you want to choose a topic based on a few things. We'll start with the expertise. If there is something that you love doing or something that you have a lot of expertise in, then guess what? Write about it. There's tons of people out there that are looking for the information that you've gained through experience. Sometimes it's because you worked at a particular job. Sometimes it's because you were in a particular club. You were in a particular sport. You were in a particular hobby. Whatever the case is, the thing that you have expertise in is something that you probably want to write about, because you can write about it not from what the book is going to tell you, which is what a lot of people do. Research says no, from experience. That experience is priceless, because there are so many people that are coming behind you and they're saying, you know what, I wish I knew how to fix a car. If you write a book about how to fix a car, and you give details, you give graphs, you give these things. There are books that come out every year for people in the automotive industry that they purchase year after year for new models, and it's the same information over and over and over again. But if you have expertise in a particular subject, maybe it's something that you overcame in your life. That's something that you're an expert in. Maybe it's a career, like I said, that you worked at for many years. If you worked at a company for 5 years or more, guess what? That gives you that 10,000 hours of experience that makes you an expert. If you studied something in school and you actually applied it, not just because you studied it, but because you applied it, that gives you expertise. Use that expertise as a potential topic. What are some things that you have experience with? A lot of times that expertise and that experience go hand in hand, because when you have lived through a specific moment in your life, whether it be, like I said yesterday, you may have been in an abusive relationship, you may have felt neglected in your relationship, you may have been in you may have had a life-changing experience, you may have been a survivor of cancer, of leukemia, of some disease that has killed many others. You may have a passion for something because of your experience. That experience that you have is what is going to take someone else and give them a roadmap for how to get through that storm or that tunnel that they're in. Passion. What are you passionate about? Because believe it or not, once you start writing, it's going to be at least anywhere. Some people will say, you can write a book in 48 hours. Okay, go for it. It's going to be a lot of writing in a very short time. I say the average book goes anywhere from a month to about 3 to 6 months that it should take you to write that book. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about, because you're going to be sitting in front of your computer or your notepad, pen and pad, writing for the next 3 to 6 months. If that's something that you're going to do, make sure it's something that you're passionate about, because when you are passionate about something, you talk about it with a different energy. You talk about it with a different sense of purpose. True story. One of the greatest books of all time, one of the most sold books of all time, Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill, Don Green, the president of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, of the Think and Grow Rich Foundation, said that Napoleon Hill had finished his work, but when he finished his work, he was in such a deep, dark place that the energy was all off. And he said, "Let me take a break from this," because at that point there were things about his name that were being said. There was a war going on. There was the Depression. There was a lot going on at that time. He said Napoleon Hill took about 2 years away from writing. He had already finished the manuscript. He sat it on the shelf for 2 years. He went back and completely rewrote it 2 years later, after he was in a much better place, because his headspace was right and his energy and his enthusiasm and his passion for the project was there. If your energy and your passion is in the wrong place when it comes down to writing, it'll show up on the pages, whether you feel it or not. Your words have energy, your words have power, and your words have character of their own. So if you are in a good headspace, you may be talking about half full, whereas if you're in a poor headspace, you may be talking about half empty. There's the difference. It's the same events, it's the same thing, but it's the view with which you see the world. Now, you also want to write a book from a place of, can it help others? Can it help others? And we talked about this even with the experience and the expertise. If it's something that you went through, or if it's a big problem that's going on in the world right now, then guess what? People are looking for solutions. People are always looking for solutions. So when you write something to help others, what's going to happen is somebody may be struggling in business and you write a book about how to start a business. They're going to look, and when they find that book, it'll be something that can help them through and through. You may not see the returns on it immediately, but that same person who read your book may come back to you at a conference that you're speaking at, or at an event that you're speaking at, or and say, you know what, your book changed my life. And if it wasn't for your book, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now. You never know who you're helping. Take time to share the things that you've learned through experience and write it out, because it will help someone in some way through their situation. When you are writing to help others, think about it as solving a problem. What were the steps that you took to solve a particular problem? Because if these were the steps that you took, 9 times out of 10, somebody else needs those solutions that you found. It may be a quick fix, and to you, it's like normal routine. But to somebody else, they've been struggling to find that one thing, that one piece of information that you have that can change their life like that. When you write from a place of helping others, what happens is now you're also solving their problems. And the more problems you solve as entrepreneurs, this is going a little bit past the author side into the entrepreneur side. As entrepreneurs, we get paid for the problems that we solve. We get paid for the problems that we solve. So if your book is written in a way to help solve a problem, then guess what? You're going to start seeing returns on that, because those returns are coming because you helped someone else get through a situation that they never would have been able to get through without your help. Now, how do you write it? This is important. How do you write? Um, one of the first things that you want to do, or not one of the first things, I'm going to give you three different ideas of how to get it out. And the first one is outline. This is the system that I use whenever I'm writing a book or a new project. The first thing I'll do is start coming up with the outline. The outline is going to include your chapter titles. It's going to include the key points that are going to be in there, and a short summary. Chapter titles, key points, and a short summary. The reason I have those three in there, the chapter titles, make your chapter titles catchy. Make it something that makes people want to turn to that chapter. Um, a simple how to deal with your haters is, I change everything I do is about the eagle. The symbolism of the eagle is that the eagle is a leader, and he stands above, and he steps apart from the crowd. So instead of writing a chapter called How to Deal with Haters, I titled it Buzzards and Crows, because buzzards and crows crow and cackle way below the level that an eagle can even soar at. And if an eagle were to separate himself and have to come down, then he's coming down to their level. So make the chapter titles catchy. Make it something that people get excited when they see the chapter titles. Key points. The reason that you want to have key points is because you may be able to turn that nonfiction book into a workbook, into a curriculum, into a coaching program, into speaking opportunities. And those key points are things that you're going to touch on, but also things that the reader needs to understand. So jot down those key points. I always recommend at least 3 to 5 key points for any chapter. And again, easy to create a workbook or a curriculum from that. And if you do it properly, that book can become a book and workbook and curriculum, that instead of selling the book for 20, you now have a book for 20, workbook for 15, and the curriculum you can sell for thousands. I'm just trying to give you some free game for free 99. $1 million worth of game. Last thing is the chapter summary. The chapter summary is not for anyone else but you. The reason that this is important is because when you begin to write, you're going to be in a different mindset than when you continue writing. The more you write, the more you will find that your brain it kind of comes to a stop at certain points, because life is happening. And when life is happening, guess what? You're going to run into writer's block. If you have a great description, and it shouldn't be any more than 2 sentences to a paragraph. If you have a great description of what that chapter is about, then what's going to happen is when you go back, whether you're writing this chapter 3 months from now or 3 years from now, in my experience, I came back to a book 4 years after I originally started. And because I had a great summary of what should be in the chapter, it flowed like that. It flowed right out of me. So get those chapter titles, those key points, and write a quick summary that you're going to go back to. Next one is a brainstorm. When you're brainstorming, you're looking for ideas, you're looking for topics, you're looking for things that are connected. So an example of brainstorming would be, I don't know, I want to write about books. Okay. So if I want to write about books, what are the things that goes into a book? Well, writing the book is one. Okay. What about writing the book? You need to outline. You need to understand correct grammar. You need to understand good punctuation. You need to understand editing style. You need to understand formatting. Okay, got a lot of that. Now, what else? There's business behind it. Okay, the business. So if I'm talking about business, then I need to know how to sell a book. I need to know how to get booked for additional opportunities from that book. I need to know how to get my book into stores. I need to know how to get my book uploaded. I need to know how to get my book. You get the point. So as you're brainstorming, one topic can turn into 5 or 10 different pieces that you have information for. And if you do it properly, one topic which you may have thought was going to be one chapter actually becomes a book in itself. So one book can become a series of additional books if you tap into the book itself, into the topics themselves. Another thing is just bullet points. Again, if you are a writer, you can start with bullet points. You don't have to write out every single thing. You don't have to write complete sentences. In this chapter, I want to write about. You can create bullet points of what you're going to talk about. And those bullet points, you choose from the top 10 to 15 that you want to go in detail with. And then of those bullet points, create additional sub bullet points that go with it. So there's so many ways to get those ideas out there. And all this is doing is allowing your brain to think through, what is it that I really want to talk about inside of the book. As you have those ideas inside of your brain of what you really want to talk about, the next step from that is just to write. And I always say this, write and don't edit while you're writing, because if you are a perfectionist, you'll end up spending a year on one chapter because you're writing. Well, this word isn't right and that word isn't right. I can say this better. I can say that better. Who cares? Get it out and then go back, and with the fresh set of eyes, after you finish, put it down, close your eyes, don't look at it for a day to a week, and then come back and look at what you've written. And that's when you begin proofing it from your own self, and then you send it off to an editor, so that the editor is another set of eyes that sees the things that you may have missed in your writing. And when they see the things that you missed in your writing, they can make those corrections, and you two now can work together, or a team of editors in the case of our company. Last thing is a brain dump. Brain dump. All a brain dump is some people have spurts where they just want to write. Well, if that's you, then do a brain dump. Keep a notepad around you. You can keep a notepad like this. You can keep a smaller notepad like this. Just something where you can go in, and when your mind begins to flow, just start writing. You can either write it in the notepad. You can use the notepads in your phone, because whether it's an iPhone or an Android device, they have a set notes section in your phone. Or if you wanted to translate from multiple devices, Google has an app called, what is this? Google Keep. And with Google Keep, you can write what you want, and it'll transfer from your phone to your computer to any other device that's connected to with that app. So when you begin with the brain dump, All it is, like I said, is just writing. You're just writing to write, to write, to write, to write. Okay. That's all I really have. When it comes down to writing, either you're going to get it out, or if you're going to continue to say, I'm stuck and I don't know what to write. If it's something that you want to do, one, choose your topic. And when you choose your topic, going backwards, choose your topic based on expertise, your experience, what you're passionate about, something that can help others, and something that solves a problem. There's a few other things that you can write about as well. When you begin writing, there's a few ideas to help you. The outline, if you're doing an outline, make sure you have your chapter titles, your key points, 3 to 5 key points from each chapter, and a quick summary. That's for you, not for anybody else. And then brainstorming is another idea. And with the brainstorming, you can either use the web method where you're connecting different ideas, or you can just do bullet points. And then lastly is the brain dump. But most importantly, the most important thing about writing is to get started. Get started. Don't worry about how it's going in the interim. Let me take that back. Do a self-check at key points during the initial phases of the writing, but don't try to edit at the same time as you're writing, because your mind is going in 2 different directions if you do that. But that's all I have for today. Listen, prayerfully, this was something that helped you all, something that you can go and apply. I really appreciate those of you that tuned in. If this video was helpful to you, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a heart, and share it, because we're trying to help people like you get that idea out of their heads onto the paper and into those books so they can help others. Listen, I love y'all, and ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Love y'all. Y'all have a good one.